Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Oh, hearty good morning to you on this Monday. Oh, my God, another incredible weekend of sports. But not football, not our usual, tons of local stuff. Once again, Nick and I will be waxing poetic about all things soccer and tennis and all those other sports. We'll be talking about the Rays as well. Big weekend for them. But God, it's so boring, if I may. We'll be talking about the draft. We've got some Bucs talk for you as well as we continue our position preview with the defensive tackles. All kinds of good stuff coming your way this morning. Good morning to you, Nick Ennis from On3 Sports. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. If it wasn't for, I already told you off air, phone call right before the show started. And it's like, it's part of the theme of today of how we just don't do anything right.
Nope.
and for the quick background, not to bore everybody, it just sucks when you have appointments, at scheduled times, and you wake up really early to get everything in order, and you wait around, and you get no communication, and then you get a phone call right before the show starts that they ain't coming today. And that is it's very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. Yeah. So that's how my morning has gone. Just waiting around.
I'm old enough to remember when people you did business with actually did what they said they were going to do, old enough to remember when, we ran soccer games and tournaments where people just didn't storm the gate. We're all coming in. That only happens in Guadalajara. It doesn't happen in America. Huh? Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah, I remember when we were good at stuff Secret Service protection and things like that. Now we're just like, get on top of that building. That's fine. Anywhere, that looks like a good shot. Yeah, go ahead, take that. You're good. You're good over there. You yell at cops, and they're like, don't worry about that guy. He's just got a gun on top of a building. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we used to be able to protect our presidents and our former presidents. We used to be good at stuff like tennis. Remember when an American man won Wimbledon? Remember we used to get up for breakfast in Wimbledon? We'd be like, ooh, we get to watch Pete Sampras today. Yeah, 2000, 24 years ago was the last time an American man won Wimbledon. 24 years ago. The last American woman to win it was Serena, and she was like 75 when she won it in 2016. We haven't produced a good young female tennis player in I don't know how long. I mean, it's just America is trash. We don't do anything well anymore at all. Just total trash. And it's all because we don't give lack of leadership. Look at who's been in charge for so long. It's awful. And it's both parties. It's not just one, but one's really bad right now. And it's not even the old Democrat Party. I used to love the old Democrat Party. Those were fun people. These people, I don't know who they are. They're not from here. They're running this country. It's absolutely awful. Everything is awful, and it needs to change. It needs to change. I'm not going on any political rants. Maybe later, but not at the beginning of the show. We're going to talk some Rays here and all kinds of stuff. And we'll start with the Rays. Another interesting performance yesterday, a 2-0 win over the Guardians. And Lord, I tell you what gets me excited about this season is Taj Bradley and Ryan Pepio, Shane Baz to some degree. Everything else, the offense is just so bad. So bad. It's so bad. But the pitching on this team can be moving forward absolutely elite. They could put up the best rotation in baseball next year. And I'm excited about that. I'm really excited about that. I mean, I would have liked to see them draft somebody that might have some offensive impact in the next couple of years. But we drafted a high school shortstop. I'm not going to pretend I know anything about the dude. The scouts say he's a great bat-to-ball guy, could have great left-handed power down the road. So, I mean, he ain't making the big leagues till maybe another 5 years. So it's not like he's got a lot of work to do, but has some great great tools. That's what you want in a drafted player, but he's not going to make any impact anytime soon. And just, I don't know why, but in pure Rays way, he had a torn labrum in his sophomore season and couldn't play. And his arm is still subpar because of that. Hasn't recovered from that. Knee injury in his junior year, it didn't play. Didn't play much. So we're already drafting a oft-injured high school player. But be that as it may,
hey,
he's got great tools.
To say what they said on the broadcast last night was best high school hitter in the entire country. So it got me a little giddy. And he was apparently a shortstop. He was announced as a center fielder. So I know every Rays fan is going nuts because the Rays love their shortstops and second baseman.
He's not going to be a shortstop.
Which, by the way, the next two picks, though, were a shortstop and a second baseman. That's just what they like. That's their profile. I really don't care. Talent is talent as far as I'm concerned. But we won't see this kid for a long time, clearly. But, again, for everybody that the draft said, the Rays did well. But we'll see. Yeah,
they got a B. R.J. Anderson gave him a B on that first pick.
Their two Florida State guys went back-to-back, though. I saw James Tibbs and Cam Smith, 13 and 14.
Yeah, and Caglione from Plant goes number 6 to the Royals. I can't believe he lasted till the 6th pick. He breaks the Florida home run record with 75. Homered in 9 straight games this year. Had 35 home runs. Bats from the left side, plus defender. Can pitch if you need it, but he won't be a professional pitcher. The dude just mashes. Now, I was listening, running around yesterday. I was listening to Sirius XM, the baseball geeks on there doing the draft. I just marvel at like their commitment.
Yes.
To scouting players. These dudes are like, I went to Wauchula. What? You did what? Wauchula's around the corner. I ain't going to Wauchula. No offense, Wauchula. But I mean, to see a baseball player play, I'm not doing that. These dudes are like, I went to Wauchula. I'm like, you did? Jesus Christ. Okay. So yeah, I'm listening to these guys, and they are just so good. And they were the guys that were on MLB Network, really. Which, by the way, I don't know what this guy's name is, but he looks just like me. Did you see a guy
yes.
on the MLB Cup?
Yeah.
Did you see that dude?
On ESPN.
Ashley's like sending me a picture. She was at a sports bar. She's on the road, and she's like, "This." I looked up and said, "Is that you?" I'm like, "Holy shit!"
I was literally waiting for him to speak. It was on the ESPN broadcast, and I was waiting for him to speak.
Did you see that dude?
I'm like, "Yes." I'm like, "That looks like JP." The whole thing, like no offense, but like the hair and everything.
Yeah, the receding hairline.
It was completely like you.
Yeah. Yeah, Jelani Wilkins like JP. I had to double take too. Yeah, I'm like, holy shit, that guy is my doppelganger, and he's Dave something. I got to get his name, but I got to get him on the show. Well, I'll grow my beard back, and we'll like just sit there and stare at each other and like, oh my god, I'm looking in the mirror. But that dude knows a hell of a lot more about
Dave Schoenfield. Dave Schoenfield,
yeah, handsome dude, handsome lad. Nice blue coat, like a lightning blue coat too. Last night, very nice. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. But those guys know so much about it, and they were talking about the home runs in college baseball this year, and they were up dramatically. I'm just going to write down the numbers, but anyway, they were up dramatically this year, and it was. I think they had the number he gave out was startling. He said in 2014. There were only 66 teams that had more in college baseball, had more than 20 home runs as a team. Okay. This year, there were 60-some players that hit 20 or more home runs. Players in college baseball. Players. There were, I believe, 16 guys that had 25 home runs or more. So it was just a ridiculous power year for college baseball. So for guys like, and I'm not knocking Caglione, but it's just they were saying we've got, we look at these numbers and we literally take 25% off and say these are their numbers.
Can we get those balls in MLB, please?
Yeah, please. Oh my God. Whatever they were using in college baseball, just please bring them to the major leagues because it's, although yesterday, we think that because we watch Rays games. Yesterday, there were 51 total home runs, the most in the season. 9 multi-home run games yesterday. 9, which is an MLB record. So home runs are being hit. They're just not being hit in Tampa Bay. So
it's funny, though, because the Rays did hit 2 home runs yesterday.
They did hit 2 home runs, yes. And Siri, boy, did he run into that one.
Supplied all the offense we needed.
By the way, 89 miles an hour middle of the plate. I'm like, well, you better hit that out of the freaking yard. Same with Brandon Lau. He get about an 89 mile an hour right in the middle on the inside, belt high.
I told you though, take yesterday out of the equation, but literally half the league is hitting 240 or under right now.
Yeah,
as a team,
yeah.
it's crazy.
Hitting home runs,
crazy.
but not for average. And I think on Saturday's game, they lost. Well, they lost Saturday, right? They were in a 5 for 6, 6 for 55 or 6 for 50 something runners in scoring position.
Oh my!
6 for 56, I think it was. Matt Joyce said 6 for 56.
It's amazing.
Oh my god! Like seriously,
you have to literally try. I feel like to be that putrid with runners in scoring position.
That's literally close your eyes and swing, and you're going to do better than that.
It's nuts, and it's funny. It's like we sit here at the All-Star break, and I know a couple weeks ago we got to the halfway point. We sort of evaluated where the Rays are, and I guess today's a good way to do that too. It's so poetic that we're at the All-Star break, and they are sitting, right at 500, which is again how
it's a miracle.
How fortunate are they to be right at 500? It's crazy when you look at the season that they've had, but. Listen, I mean, you see the title of the show. They've won 7 out of their last 8 series. Now that is certainly to be celebrated.
Numbers what? But yeah, and then what's their record in that stretch? Do you know?
I mean, it's got to be what?
4?
Yeah, I was going to say they got to be 4 over because they were 4 under before. That's the
how
crazy
do you
part.
Win 7 out of 8 series and go 14-10. Like, how does that math work?
The one series the one series that they dropped, obviously they got swept.
Well,
right. So that hurt.
Yeah.
And I don't think they swept any of those series.
No, they couldn't have. They didn't sweep anything, And I think one of them was a 2-game series, maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah. Anyway, it was, that's weird. 7 out of 8 and you're 14-10. Like, that's weird.
But here's the thing, though. It's like they won 7 out of 8, and I commend them for that. They had a much better June and obviously start to July. And played some really good teams doing that, and were able to claw their way back to 500. But again, it's still 500, and it's like kind of my general thought on where the Rays are right now is it's a 500 baseball club, and they've continued to prove that that's just what they are. And even when they go on a run like this of winning 7 series out of 8, where did it get them? It's not like they're any closer to anything, no, and it shouldn't change their plans, I guess, to say. For what they do later this month at the trade deadline.
Like about a month ago, I went through the deeper analytics offensively, and there's 3 teams at the bottom, and depending on what category you're looking at, but the deeper analytics of just producing runs, the Rays were last. They were dead last in the league, and I don't think they've improved at all. So they're the worst offensive team in the league. What's really bizarre is it's not the same group, but obviously, you take out Wander Franco, who played most of last year, or a good portion of last year. Luke Raley, who had a bunch of bombs last year. Who else are we missing from last year?
Well, we're missing a competent Josh Lowe. That's for sure.
Like everybody's worse than they were last year. Like everybody had their career year last year, and now everybody's having their worst season this year, offensively. But I think just in general, the 6 for 56 or whatever that number is, it's ridiculously bad, is because there's so few threats. You can pitch around any guy that maybe you have a bad matchup against and just get to somebody you can strike out.
Yeah.
And that's why you see, they hit a lot of their home runs are all solo shots. They're going to throw it right down the middle of the plate for Siri. He banged it. Give him credit. That was a smoke job. But they're just not going to. But they're not giving up any runs. You can win games that way.
To me, their biggest problem, honestly, is not really stringing hits. It's just they just don't get them. I think the whole runner score position. If they actually were average, I think at hitting and runners in scoring position, I think they'd probably be 4 or 5 games over 500 at least. I truly feel that way.
But again, it's not because they're unlucky with runners in scoring position. It's because they're bad offensively.
They're just not good in those situations.
No, they're not good hitters. They're just not good hitters.
Well, what I was going to point out is there is a silver lining here because you mentioned how some of the guys, the big names, so to say, who had career years last year, who are not having great seasons this year. But if you look at recently, and you go back to June 1st, and I had these numbers here. This is interesting. Arozarena, We all know the start he got off to.
Yeah.
He's hitting 274 since June 1st. He's been a much better hitter here in the last, 30-ish games.
But that's still not great.
Well, but 274 for a Rosarena is back in line with what he is. That's back in line with what he is. Yandy Diaz, he's hitting 314 since June 1st. If you back it up to May 1st, he's hitting 297. That's Yandy Diaz. That's the Yandy Diaz we know.
Numbers?
The power numbers we know are not there for Yandy Diaz this year. A Rosarena, I think, is up to 11 or 12. And really, his ceiling has always been 20 to 25. So I don't think he's really far off of that right now.
Yeah.
The problem is, how many RBIs does Randy Rosarena have at this point for a guy hitting in the middle of the order? I'm going to pull it up here real quick. I think he has he's got 31 RBIs. That's the problem. 31 RBIs for Randy Rosarena.
Oh my God.
31 RBIs for Randy Rosarena this season, and he's hit 12 home runs. That's where you circle the problem right there. It's not that they don't.
Well, that's because nobody's getting.
They just don't get hits with runners in scoring position, and that's why they're 500.
Yeah. It's and there's a reason for that. That's not just bad luck. You can pitch around, as I said, you pitch around guys. There's not enough depth to this lineup. I mean, you get to the bottom 4 or 5, and most every game, those guys are hitting under 200, like under 200, and 2 guys are under 100. It's like so brutal, but we all know that. And this was it's something that I definitely wanted to talk about because it freaking burns my ass. Rick says, I was at the Trop Saturday thanks to my son's gift. Okay. He's obviously establishing that he did not put any money into Stu's pocket. It was FSU and Margaritaville night. Yes, I still left early. Ray's fundamentals are terrible. Those FSU hats, by the way. Did you see the FSU Tampa Bay hats?
I don't think I got a good look at them.
Sweet. Yes, I saw a couple folks wearing them on Facebook. Anybody like to gift me one? Love it, have it. I will love you forever and mention you every day on the show. But the fundamentals. You know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Nothing, I don't think, ever burns my ass more than that. A 1-run game, 6th inning, Ahmed Rosario pops one up to center field. Now, first of all, you're at the Trop. You should run out every freaking high pop-up at the Trop because you have no idea what's going to happen with the catwalks. You have no idea if they're going to lose it up there. And it happens all the freaking time. So of all places you don't run, Tropicana Field, you're benched. You're benched forever, in my opinion. So he comes out forever. You're done. So he comes out of the box, and he just lollygags it, not even running and you can see the outfielders are scurrying to get the ball from the very beginning. The shortstop's running, the center fielder's in full, like it's a classic. This is going to drop. He's still dogging it. And by the time the ball comes down and bounces 40 feet in the air, he's still on first base in a 1-run game in the 6th inning. And he could have been on third. Definitely second. Even the Cleveland announcers were like, wow, that's really bad base running. That's really – I don't know what the Rays announcers were doing because I was watching something else live and I saw this on the replay. So did you hear what the Rays announcer said? I don't know. I'm sure.
I didn't. I was not watching live at that moment.
So anyway, and so what happens? 2 walks. He would have been on third, bases loaded, deep fly ball to center field. He would have scored. Would have scored and made it 2-0 in a 1-0 game. And they end up getting bupkis, nothing, squadouche out of the inning. It's just, you can be bad offensively. You can do all the things. But this continued bull crap of playing stupid, lazy-ass, non-fundamental baseball. And Rosario's been a great surprise this year. He's, in general, he's been great.
Right.
But this is the culture that this team has adopted this year. And I don't know what the hell Kevin Cash is doing besides pulling his hair out. I mean, how does he allow this to continue to go on? All year long, we've seen this crap. And it's so un-Rays-like. It's so not like the Kevin Cash team. These are not – and I don't know if he's just thrown his hands up and like these guys don't listen. They don't give a crap. They don't whatever. I'm done with it. Do whatever the hell you want to do. That's where I kind of feel like he's at right now. And that's just my opinion from the outside because this is not the type of team that he allows or plays with. Like, just doesn't. And we know that every manager in baseball is neutered by the front office. We know that. We know that. So maybe there's like, just chill out till we get this, stadium thing done. Let's go all unicorns and rainbows. We don't need anything negative. Just be as positive as you can. Just cool your jets. Don't discipline. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just looking from it as an outsider, looking inside. This is not the way Kevin Cash teams play.
Some teams are just bad fundamentally, and I don't know if it's
that's on the manager.
I just don't know if you could break that in the middle of the season. The guys you have are the guys you have. Even little things like yesterday, and this didn't really matter in the grand scheme of the game, but on the topic of fundamentals and sort of defense, like even Taylor Walls, who you usually can't poke holes through that guy at all.
No.
In the field, there was a little minor play there. I don't know if you saw at the beginning of the game in the second inning. There's a ground ball to him at short, and you would think Taylor Walls, he was so close to the bag. Rosario hadn't even gotten over there yet, and you thought he would just step on second and throw to first, double play.
Pretty simple
over. And instead he flips it, and it was a poor flip, and Rosario wasn't there yet, so we had to come in, and then we weren't able to get two, and it didn't matter because then they were able to get a double play the next play. But it's just
3-pitch inning, by the way.
It's just cool. A little example though that it's like everybody on the team at moments has these sort of just brain farts, I guess, on the baseball.
We've seen this before, Nick, on other teams. It's just because every day it's blasé. You're a 500 team. You're just not focused. You're not. And Rays teams this has always been their driving force because most of the guys are underdogs. Most of them are trying to still prove themselves at the major league level. Every day they come out, they got it. This is World Series Game 7, and they played that way with that type of focus and intensity. Haven't seen one freaking inch of that this year. They have not seen one, and it's one of the things we've always loved about the Rays. Is because that's why
I think that's why
the low payroll you can compete with them because you bring that intensity every day.
Right.
Because we see the Yankees and the Red Sox and they play sloppy baseball because that's who they are. Not the Rays.
I think that's why because sometimes I think the reaction that you're having could be a little too strong sometimes because at the end of the day, it's not like they're 15 games under 500.
Right.
But it's just I think the fact of and where you're coming from is we've watched this team for years and we're just not used to this. And so
I think that's why they're 500 and it's the same.
No, I agree. I agree with you.
For the most part.
I agree with you.
And Taylor Walls, okay, here's another perfect example. That play you mentioned. It's a great play. So Rosario's in the hole. It's a left-handed batter. Runner on first. So Walls is shaded towards the middle. He's about 6 steps from second base. So in your brain, hot shot to me, I'm stepping on it because Rosario's too far. You thinking about that ahead of time. That's right. That's when you're talking baseball. Hot shot to me. You're not thinking ground ball to me. If you're a professional, you're thinking hot shot to me towards the bag. I'm taking it myself. I mean, that should be in your brain. Now, that was a freaking bullet that got hit. It was a freaking bullet. And so he makes the tough play, and maybe that scrambled his brain a little bit. But you can't do that. This is Major League effing baseball, and you hit a $110. You can't make defensive mistakes. You can't. You're like the white guy 3-point shooter. You can't miss open threes because you don't do anything else. You got to make those. If you're a shortstop that can't hit your freaking weight, you got to make those plays. And you didn't make it in a one-run game. Now he got bailed out because Yanni made a great play on the next play, but and they would have scored a run on that play. Line drive down the line probably scores. So you got to be better than that. You got to be better than that. And if you're going to continue to win these games 2-0, you can't make mistakes like that. And they're lucky. They're lucky. They were lucky to win yesterday. There was, some hard hit balls that were right at people. But Pepio did a great job. He and only one other guy, Wu from the Royals, I believe, for Cubs, are the only pitchers in the league that have gone 6 innings and gave up 2 hits or less. I mean, that's pretty damn impressive, back to back. That's pretty damn impressive. And his changeup has been fantastic. He's really good.
Yeah, Ryan Pepio, I thought he had hit a little bit of a ceiling a few weeks ago, but he's responded by having his best outings here. He's getting better as the season goes on now. So there's a lot to be excited about him. And of course, Taj Bradley. I mean, he is blossoming in front of our eyes, JP, I think, as a bona fide top of the rotation ace type stuff. I mean,
a long
even
way to go. A long way to go.
He's got a long way to go. But I mean, I'm just looking at his last 7 games here again. We brought this up last week since the 9-run outburst on June 1st against Baltimore. In the 7 games since, you think? How about the ERA of 107? Does that play? 53 strikeouts in 7 games. 53 strikeouts in 7 games. Opponents hitting 187 against him. I mean, he's just been a delight to watch. He's been the biggest positive, I think, on this team that I've seen. And it's like you're already starting to see the makings of what 2025 is going to look like in this rotation. Cross your fingers if everybody can stay healthy. But even the rotation they're going to have for the rest of the year. Because they already, they kicked Savali to the curb, which was the right move.
Thank God.
Move on from the mistake. Same thing with Maton. Move on from the mistake.
Gave up the 39th best prospect in baseball to get Savali. And, you got Squadouche back. But okay.
Xavier Isaac's coming. He's coming.
Right.
But move on from those mistakes. Yeah, move on from those mistakes. Very Lightning-esque from the Rays front office, by the way. Move on from the mistakes early. And then Eflin, I think we probably would agree he's going to get traded at some point, but you're still looking at Taj Bradley, Ryan Pepio, Shane Baz. Hello, Jeffrey Springs. We'll see you later this month, probably. Just had another outing yesterday in Durham. So you got 4 guys right there. Littell, he's going to be up. I think he's going to be up against it to make this rotation next year. But you have 4 guys that we're going to see this year that we're looking forward to 2025 and seeing Shane McClann joining it. Yeah. And then we're off and running. So, and that's the reason why I think they've gotten back to 500 the most part is the pitching has really picked up of late.
Yeah. Fairbanks did the tightrope walk yesterday again. Puts 2 on those moments,
but Jason Adam, I mean, just nails. Fantastic. He should be. By the way, Jason Adam should be pitching tomorrow in the All-Star game.
He should be.
You could shove it with this Clay Holmes nonsense in New York. Go compare the numbers side by side. It's all about it's all about the logo on his hat, clearly. Because Jason Adam, I think he's like top 3 ERA of all relievers in baseball with the amount of innings he's pitched. He should be there tomorrow. But
I agree.
Whatever.
A couple of great comments here. Seminole TJ Maxx loaded with new cheap New Era and 47 brand Bucs hats, Nick. Those are good hats.
I am a hat connoisseur. I love the 47 brand. I'm telling you, if you find the right TJ Maxxes around, they have good selection.
Those are like, Lonnie, those are like what, $10, $15 hats?
They're $10, $15. And if you go on literally the 47 website, they're $40, $45.
Yeah. All right. Nice. That's good stuff right there. That's the stuff because we're thrift shoppers here. We're TJ Maxx shoppers.
I mean, look at us, JP. I see your hat. You see my hat. We're supporting the local brands here in the Tampa area.
Hell, we are. Especially when they give them to me. For free. Lonnie says, I can't listen to those geeks on MLB Network. Brutal. Give me Shaq and Charles. I know. Listen, it was.
Did you watch the MLB Network broadcast?
The what?
The MLB Network broadcast yesterday, I was rolling my eyes at Dan O'Dowd, who kept calling every player. This team really got themselves an aircraft carrier here. He was referring to like every big prospect. He's an aircraft carrier. I'm like, what is an aircraft carrier?
You got to vary.
And how could he used that for like 3 players of the first 6 picks, and he never explained what that is.
But I think just metaphorically that he can carry the whole team.
Oh yeah, every prospect's going to pan out and be an aircraft.
Oh yeah. I thought JP Lookalike was going to rip Stu in front of the whole country. If only. We'll get him on the show and we'll educate him, but they never will. Lonnie said, went to the game yesterday, had a blast at the Trop. Good for you.
22,000 people in attendance yesterday.
Even at the lower level, I'm tired of watching 165-pound guys trying to hit like Jose Canseco. It is. It's so bad for baseball. The home run is everything. It's just awful. Scotty Fitz, 50 days until college football. Can't watch baseball anymore. I know, brother. We're going to get to some football. Don't worry. We'll get to it in a little bit. Palacios hit a triple on Saturday, halfway to 30, turned around looking for the ball. Why? I know. Fundamentals. And on the Seminole hats, Tampa Bay hats are sweet. My son goes there at FSU. Go Noles. Yeah, absolutely. All right. You want to give us a little bit of taste of the man, the myth, the all-encompassing suck? And we say that with all loving
in the best way possible.
Yes.
We say it.
Mr.
Pete Fairbanks in his 2-minute post-game presser, which the whole thing is worth a listen.
Cheers. Let's enjoy.
We're getting out of that little bit of a jam there and getting the save today.
Yeah, I think it could have been avoided had I executed a little better. But outs are outs. Saves are saves. And we exactly at 500 going in the break, or we one game above, right?
The headband is just like.
I'll take being right at 500.
But he's built here.
How we were to start the year, going into what should be a good reset for all parties.
I was going to say, how would you assess that first half? It does seem like you guys are kind of getting your groove back recently, winning some clutch series here.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were generally terrible for at least part of it. We were good for part of it. And, I think we ended it on 8 of 9. PR guy?
7 of 8 series. 7 of 8 series.
I should never have doubted you, Mark. 7 of 8 series to, head into the break. So I think we'll take that, barring,
a little left for talking.
The haunted house in Arlington.
Ryan Pepio today, back-to-back strong outings for him against back-to-back very challenging lineups. What was impressive about his outing today to you?
Yeah, quick outs and weak contact, right? It's a bit of a different, not bad different, just a different challenge than you get, facing a team that has the pop that, we saw with New York. And I thought he did an excellent job of using his best pitch and then complementing that with a good heater as well.
Good starting pitching, relief pitching, some good defense. Clutch hitting feel like Rives type of wins lately and specifically today?
Well, I would love if we had a laugher on our end one time, But yeah, wins are wins, Mark. Wins are wins. We don't really care how we get them.
Right.
We just prefer to have them. Would I prefer that you didn't characterize Rives baseball as bad offense? Yes, I would. But
tight games.
I don't think that's what your intention was, Mark. We could agree to disagree. It felt like, we had some vintage wins today. We'll say that.
They cut it off after that. I thought there was going to be some more back and forth.
That was it right there.
Yeah. Love it. Absolutely love it. I think he and Mark have a nice, wonderful little give and take relationship.
I think so too. But by the way, I'm just going to put this out here. Mark wasn't really lying, was he?
He was not lying. He was not lying at all. He was spot on. He was spot on. Absolutely. And he was being very polite. He could be less polite. Absolutely.
I just love,
Fairbanks.
No, but I need him to speak after every game. I don't care if he takes the ball at all. Yes. I need to hear him speak because I love the honesty. Like even when Trisha asked him to sum up the season, he's like, "Well, I thought generally we were terrible."
Yeah.
You don't hear players usually say stuff like that. So
you don't hear players say all encompassing suck.
No, wearing whatever this headband was, whatever that was.
Yeah. What is that? What is that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that is, and I'm not going to try to figure out.
Let him roll a little bit. Let him look forward. Roll it a little bit. Let's get a better look at it. What is that? Anybody out there? What is that?
I got no idea.
Looks like maybe it's got Superman colors. It's kind of like some superhero thing going on there.
Yeah, I don't know. He's an interesting cat.
Oh, he's the best. He's the best.
And I'd hate to see
most entertaining part of the race.
I'd hate to see him go at the deadline. I hate to see him go at the deadline because I have to think that's a possibility.
God. Yeah, I better not start. I better stop saying he's my favorite because then Stu will ship him out. I better start. Please, Stu, don't do that. Don't do that. The fans love.
Hey, listen, I'm all about the business, and if somebody wants to drop a bag for a guy who could potentially be closing out in the World Series, I'm gonna have to make a move there. Not gonna lie.
No, we got to keep him. He's pure entertainment.
Business is business.
I could see him also. If the organization did him wrong, I could see him going off. Do we want to listen to the beleaguered Kevin Cash?
Let's see what Kevin had to say. Last time we'll hear from him for a little bit before as they go on the All-Star break now.
All right, we'll start with Ryan Pepio. That's back-to-back strong outings against two very, very good lineups. He said he felt like everything was working tonight. What'd you see from him?
I agree. It looked like that. I mean, he was super efficient. Just overall impressed with certainly Pep, but the way we pitched this entire series, ultimately the homestand. But against this team, we talked about being a unique team. They put the ball in play quite a bit. They got a bunch of good hitters top to bottom. They're versatile right, left, and felt like our starters and relievers really navigated through that well and highlighted today with Pep for sure. Good hitters, but good pitching as well. So those Siri and Brandon Lau home runs, pretty clutch against some tough pitching. Yeah, when we've talked about getting the big hit, and sometimes the guys aren't on base. Well, we got two big hits today that that help get runs. Look, that Lively's, he's good. I mean, he's deceptive. He's got a good mix and kept us off balance. I mean, he got on a pretty good run himself. I mean, Siri clipped him for the first pitch, and I think Bilal got a first pitch homer as well.
And then does it feel like you guys have some positive momentum headed into the All-Star break after this?
Yeah, I think so. I think that hopefully they feel that way. That's very fair. We've played better baseball here as of late, so hopefully they can go into the break, enjoy it, and then come out of it, keeping a little bit of the momentum that we've created by winning some series here.
You talked a bit about how Pepio has been, how he's been pretty good for you guys. Obviously, he's incorporated some of the change up there, and he's had a few games, like four straight starts with allowing less than 2 runs a piece. So, what is going into that? What are you seeing from him that's allowing him to do that?
I mean, look, I think that he realizes his changeup is probably his bread and butter of the out pitches, and when he gets on a run, he's going to continue to go to that. But, I mean, a lot of that plays off him having a really good fastball that carries through the top of the zone well. He even threw a couple breaking balls that I looked at Kyle today, and, he kind of put the curveball in the back pocket for a little while. He's brought it back out. It's becoming a pretty good pitch. So the more looks that he can give hitters, the better. But he knows, we know, and probably the opposing lineup knows that changeup's a big pitch.
And by the way, I was just going to mention on Pepio, because we always have to, look at the trades and all that. I'm just saying, Tyler Glasnow is on the injured list again with lower back tightness, which is not surprising given how tall the guy is. I'm just saying there was a reason why Tyler Glasnow became expendable. He's never healthy. He's just never healthy. So
I get it.
So
no, I
just pointing that out as Ryan Pepio continues to shine.
But it's a couple good outings. He hasn't won a Cy Young yet. He hasn't,
Well, neither has Tyler Glasnow.
I know, but he hasn't pitched in the playoffs.
Never pitched more than 120 innings in a season.
I know. Listen, I never would have paid Tyler Glasnow. I wouldn't have signed him to that much, but I know why they signed him to that, because they wanted him to pitch at the end of the season to give him a shot to do something in the playoffs. That was good. I get it. They were never going to pay him $26 million.
We knew that from the beginning.
But I would have, and Pepio's good, but he's, I think he's got a great opportunity to be great. He's got really, really good stuff, and there's room to move. The fastball is plus. Slider is devastating, and changeup and slider is just devastating. And he's got a chance to be great.
By the way, I'm just saying, if you even
how's the other part of that trade doing?
What? Who? What? Who? What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Johnny DeLuca.
I'm just saying too, by the way, not to go down the rabbit hole of ultra comparing the both of them, but at this point in his career, Ryan Pepio has accomplished more than Tyler Glasnow did at this point in his career. And even if you go throughout Glasnow's numbers and look at Pepio's numbers, Pepio lower ERA at this or through his career so far than Glasnow, things like that. So I don't know. Maybe we'll be talking about that in the future, that there really wasn't much really differentiating those guys, obviously, other than cost. So, yeah.
All right. Anything else? A couple other great. Oh, we have. I knew Nathan Elliott would figure this out. Where is it? Here it is. Nathan Elliott says Pete Fairbanks is wearing a Cyclops headband. Is designed like the character's visor. Cyclops is a character from the Marvel comic Hood? X-Men. Anyway, from X-Men. Told you. Superheroes. I'm a little disappointed in you, Nick Gaddis. I expect you to get that.
Listen, I'm a casual Marvel viewer. I can tell you all about the Infinity Saga, and after that, I got nothing to give you. I got nothing for you on the comics. I'm a casual Marvel fan.
Okay. All right. Well, thank God we got Nathan Elliott.
And I haven't seen one X-Men movie, so just saying.
All right. But thank you. I knew we'd find out. Our audience is super smart. They know everything. All right. I want to say thank you to our great sponsors, the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Saw Scott Jeeves this past week and gave us some great insight on the Florida State case. And he is on the list to mediate that case. He said he's low on the list, but if it comes to mediation, he would be. That's how good of an attorney he is. That's how well thought of an attorney he is, that he would be on that case to mediate the ACC versus FSU. How about that? That's all you need to know about how he is regarded in legal circles. And if you want him to represent you, you can do that. If you get in an accident or have any legal issues whatsoever, it's the JeevesLawGroup.com, JeevesLawGroup.com. And He's an awesome dude. They will make you feel important because you are important. Your case is important. So don't go with the out-of-town big law firms. Go with the local one that knows the local landscape as well. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Also want to welcome in a new sponsor, Third Generation AC and Plumbing. Great folks here, long-time third generation in Tampa. The owner's a friend of mine, John Rodriguez. He's been in the ACC and plumbing business since 1995. The AC. Did I say ACC? AC and plumbing business. So if you have anything with AC or plumbing, you just want honest people, right? And this is what they are. You can't stay in business this long without being honest and having a great reputation. They do AC techs are not incentivized on these big commissions, as he was explaining to me. A lot of these companies will incentivize their AC techs. If they sell a new unit, you get these huge commissions. So what are they going to do? They're going to try to sell you new units. They don't do that at Third Generation. So these are folks you can trust. So give them a call. Check out their 5-star reviews. It's Third Generation Plumbing and AC. Call 813-961-8024, and a human being will actually answer the phone. 813-961-8024, or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com or Google them. Great folks over there. So great to have them aboard. All you want is a honest plumber, an honest AC guy, right? And this is what you get. And they do great work, and they show up when they say they're going to show up. They get us, not like your floor people. So welcome aboard, Third Generation AC and Plumbing. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side, and we'll do some Bucs for you as we've been going through the position by position, and we're going to look at the defensive tackles today, the big boys up front. So quick break. Stay with us here on the JP Peterson Show. Summer is here, and it's the perfect time to shine with the exquisite June birthstones, pearl, alexandrite, and moonstone at the Golden Diamond Source. Each gemstone carries its own unique significance and style, making them perfect for any summer occasion. Did you know the 30th anniversary milestone is pearl, the traditional stone for this special occasion? And right now you can enjoy 5 years of interest-free financing. That means you can own a stunning $5,000 ring and pay only $83 a month with zero interest for 5 years. That's a great deal. And shop online and get 15% off the June birthstones. And we love our partners, local businesses that have been here for 40 years. That's right, the Golden Diamond Source has been here for 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub have done so much in our community. We thank them, and we shop there. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Happy summer. As we head into summer and hurricane season, you must make sure that your home is fully insured. Over 40% of people in Florida are not fully insured because property rates have gone up lately. Your home is worth more, so it needs to be insured. Call the great folks at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799 to make sure you're fully insured. And also, you might just save some money. There are new companies coming into the state all the time. In fact, we just shopped our homeowners insurance, and I'm telling you, folks, we saved over $550 because Charity, the great customer service at Italiano Insurance, did all the work and found us a better company and a cheaper company. She'll do the same for you. 813-877-7799. Do something about these high rates. Shop them around. Could save you lots of money. It's Italiano Insurance, been doing business here locally for over 60 years. 813-877-7799. Tell them JP sent you.
Hey, Tampa Bay sports fans. This is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for TryHydrateHeroes.com. That's our new website where you can get a free 3-pack of the great Hydrate Heroes electrolyte hydration drink, all for free. Just go to TryHydrateHeroes.com. We'll send you a 3-pack. While you're there, go ahead and buy the 30-pack for just $29.99. Special going on, less than $1 a serving. For all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. Folks, a lot of these hydration drinks have tons of sugar, tons of calories. Hydrate Heroes, just 5 calories, and they have all the electrolytes in there, plus other stuff that's going to benefit you. A mushroom blend that will help with inflammation. So much other good stuff in there, none of the bad stuff. It's Hydrate Heroes. Go to TryHydrateHeroes.com and get your free 3-pack. The new Tropical Punch flavor is out, and it is fantastic. They'll send you some. Just go to TryHydrateHeroes.com. Get all the information there. Pick up a 30-pack as well. TryHydrateHeroes.com. All the good stuff, none of the bad stuff.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this Monday, along with Nick Geddes, as we're going over all kinds of stuff. You got to talk about, I know you want to talk about soccer, right?
Well, I was going to say, I got to talk about soccer. We got a lot of things to get into, but shame on me. I meant to even lead with this because today is a huge, huge day.
What is it?
It's a huge day. Other than the fact that it's happy anniversary to the city of Tampa, by the way. That's out there.
Really?
It is actually. It's today's the whatever anniversary of Tampa. So how apropos that we're wearing our Tampa gear. We did not plan that.
How many years old are we?
I think it was like 130 or something like that. I want to say.
Interesting.
So, other than that, though, it's a big day in my world, JP.
What's up?
Today at 4 p.m., NCAA College Football 25 drops. It is available for all the gamers out there. 10 years in the making, JP. 10 years in the making.
Imagine the revenue that could have gone to the players over those 10 years. Imagine
but this is a uniting moment for our country.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to be divisive.
The biggest winners in this whole thing are Sony and Microsoft because everybody that did not have a next-gen console has bought one in preparation for this day.
Oh, explain that.
I am so stoked.
Because I have no idea.
You had to, because this game is really new, you had to have the PS5 or the new Xbox or something like that to be able to even access this game. So people that did not have those consoles had to buy it to play this game.
All right, and that's what Sony and Microsoft get that?
Well, because Sony produces the PlayStation and Microsoft produces the Xbox. But I just wanted to give you a sneak peek right here. I think you'll actually enjoy this, JP. This was leaked already. This is when you play a Florida State game inside Doak Campbell on the game. This is the opening right here. And look how special this is. I'm going to play it here. Where's my video at? Hold on. Here we go.
Look at that. Greatest opening in sports, by the way. Listen to this. Not doing this. Oh, yeah. Do it, Chief Osceola. Do it. Who are these jamokes coming out? Is that Georgia Tech? Who are these jamokes? Penn State. They have the Golden Flashes. No, it's Toledo. Boom! That's what I'm talking about.
I thought you would enjoy that a little bit.
Podcast where you see the spear go down, and it's the best opening in sports. Come on, what's better than that? Come on.
We've come a long way.
Saturday night game, spears going on, and oh my God, it's nothing better than that.
I'm telling you,
a lot of good openings in college football.
I've been enjoying. We've been talking about how we've been enjoying this sort of football offseason that's usually pretty dead. But I'm going to start playing this game later today, and I'm going to be amped up for college football season. I can't.
Who's on the cover? Is Tebow on the cover?
No. It's like all the players are on the cover. Like Donovan Edwards from Michigan is front and center. Quinn Ewers, Travis Hunter, a couple of really big players. Yeah,
the current players. Okay.
So it's going to be. I'm telling you, this is going to be a crazy game. The servers are probably going to all crash at 4 p.m. though.
Probably right, because nothing works anymore. No, and I was alluding to the fact that instead of when the NIL case went down, or was it when they shut this down? I think that was part of the UCLA case way back. I'm trying to remember the name, but I can't right now. And so they shut it down instead of immediately diverting the money towards the players and start putting the money into the pot for the players. They just shut it down. That's 10 years of revenue that could have gone to the players.
Right.
And they just shut it down because they didn't, we can't give the players in. They didn't want to open the spigot then because they knew what would happen, but it was going to happen anyway. It was going to happen anyway. So you just pissed away for all these players that have been busting their ass. You just pissed away billions of dollars, literally billions of dollars.
And I think that literally all the players all had the option to opt in or opt out of the game of being in it. And I think they got $500. Every player that opted in got $500, I think, and a free copy of the game. But you know what's funny? And this is
a lot.
It doesn't seem like a lot at all. But if you're a certain type of player and you have some cachet, you can strong arm a little bit. And I bring you this crazy story from Arch Manning, the quarterback in Texas.
Yeah.
He initially said he opted out of the game and called it a distraction and everything, just didn't want to be in it. Then a week ago, Arch Manning drops a hype video with Eli in it and everything, promoting the game and announcing that he's all of a sudden in it. And then the reports came out that he was able to negotiate a deal where he would promote the game, and he got $50,000 to do so.
Yeah,
the way around it.
He figured it out. Good for him. All right, well, let's talk a little football here. And by the way, we're going to get to all the other stuff in the second hour. It's tons of good stuff with soccer and tennis and everything. That's thoughts on all that stuff. So we'll get to that. If you like all that stuff, we're going to get to it because we got SEC Media Days coming up, which start today.
Yeah,
Jeremy Fowler had his list.
Speaking right now, actually.
Who is?
I said Greg Sankey's actually speaking right now, and I believe I'll bring it up later because he did address the possibility of Florida State and Clemson.
Oh. Interesting.
I'll find those quotes and bring them up later.
Yeah, and I can tell you what he's saying. We're concentrating on what's going on now. We're not looking to the future, which is all BS. But I still don't think FSU and Clemson are getting in the SEC. I know FSU doesn't. They would rather be in the SEC than the Big 12. And I know there's a lot of chatter out there right now about FSU and Clemson, the Big 12, private equity money, blah, 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 blah. I'm not buying it. I think it's probably an option. I think the Big 12 is trying to make it as lucrative a deal as possible to bring them in. There's no doubt in my mind that it's a full court press, but I still think that they're headed to the Big 10. That makes way too much sense. And I think so much of the media is being fed by the Big 12 rumors, and so much of the media hates FSU.
It's funny you bring that up.
Okay.
But there was this little nugget from Matt Baker this morning.
Okay.
That FSU is having a trustees meeting soon, and it's on the topic of legislative budget request. And one of the budget requests is $13.1 million to the engineering program, and the purpose of the request is FSU's pursuit of the AAU.
Of course. And why would they be doing that, Nick Geddes? To get into the Big 12? No.
I don't think so.
No, they'll be getting it like that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you, Matt Baker. Good nugget. So, yeah, I mean, I want to talk some college football today anyway, and because there's been so much of talk on Twitter, and I've gone down the rabbit hole so often on these deals. But, again, we're sticking to the prediction we made a long, long time ago that FSU is going to announce prediction, not reporting, prediction, educated guess prediction that they're going to announce pre-August 15th that they're leaving. And I think the next announcement will be the Big Ten, where they're heading, because they're definitely getting out of the ACC. What they're getting is good. North Carolina, Clemson, Miami will follow, and we'll see where everybody lands. And USF might be filling in right into the ACC, maybe even the Big Ten. There's been talk about that as well. So if you sit here and say what's going on, I would doubt that.
I would tell you right now.
I think the people that are in charge don't even know yet.
I would tell you right now, for the people that keep falling over this guy on Twitter, what is it, Greg Swaim, who's like the only one telling you about all this Big 12 stuff. I mean, we talked about it on our Charge On podcast, because obviously with UCF, we look out for the Big 12 interest and whatnot. And we made the argument for why the Big 12 could make sense, but ultimately, it's not where FSU wants to end up. It's not where Clemson wants to end up. No, it's just a better option than the ACC in the long term. And if push came to shove and the Big Ten and the SEC outright said, we don't want you, well, then FSU is going to make that move, because to survive, you have to go to one of those three conferences at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. And that won't be their final destination either, by the way. It's just the next move to get you financially on the same playing field as everybody else, and then go play football, get in the playoff, and win a championship. Well, is it ideal? No, it's not ideal. But it's college football.
No.
They'll be playing.
No,
it's no worse than being in the ACC. Let's just be honest.
Well,
especially
the advantage
if Clemson and Miami and North Carolina come with you, who gives a rat's ass? That's the heart of the ACC anyway.
Yeah, the advantage that the Big 12 has of the ACC is clear. In newsflash, it's money. Is because next year the TV contract kicks in, and then in 2030 they're up for renewal. So if you were to add Florida State and Clemson and Miami and whatnot from the ACC, well, guess what? That TV renewal in 2030 is going to go through the roof.
Yeah.
And it'll probably not be to the degree of what the SEC and the Big Ten have, but it's going to be pretty darn close. While the ACC, again, is stuck until 2036.
And by the way, if you don't think the 2025 Big 12, if FSU were to go in there, season opener on September 5th, Labor Day weekend, Labor Day night, is not Colorado at FSU, you're out of your freaking mind. Coach Prime coming back to Doak Campbell. Oh, yeah.
Hey, it'd be kind of cool from my standpoint to see UCF hosting like Florida State or something.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Like, though we talked so much about those in-state, sort of games that we don't get enough of. So I don't know. It's a slim possibility though. It's a slim possibility, but it's all dependent on what the Big Ten and SEC does.
I can tell you what's not possible. This is what's not possible. FSU remaining in the ACC. That is absolutely not possible. That's not happening. And so any other options are fine with me, quite frankly. They're better than the ACC if Clemson and Miami and North Carolina come along. Because then you start looking at the Big 12, and it's like, okay, you just took the meat of the ACC, which was the conference you were in. You added a little spice from some other places out west, some pretty good programs. And Kansas State, as Scott Reynolds would certainly say. Yeah, Utah. Colorado with Coach Prime now. I mean, there's some interesting stuff going on there. So listen, we're open for business. FSU was the top free agent out there. We're the hottest. We got we look good in a bikini. We looking good, and everybody wants us.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. Oh, the SEC doesn't want. You know what? I've said it many times. Would playing in some of those places be fun in Georgia and Alabama and Florida? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. It's a great league. It's the best league in college. I ain't going to sit here and say it's not. There's no question about it. But if they don't want you, why do you want to go there? So they can treat you like the redheaded stepchild and give you noon games and crappy officiating?
I was going to give you the argument other than overkill. The SEC doesn't need any other schools.
They don't.
The Big Ten doesn't.
And the only reason they would take them is to keep them from going to the Big Ten.
Right. And the Big Ten and vice versa. I don't think the Big Ten necessarily needs the other schools. It would just be sort of, maybe if Florida State and Clemson go to the Big Ten, then it's like on par with the SEC, no doubt about it.
Thank you.
That would be the only incentive.
Better.
That would be the only incentive, if not better. The Big 12, I would argue, needs these schools, and that's why you're seeing this push.
And if, I know Big Ten get to 20, although they could cut some bait in that league and kick some teams out and bring in, Indiana. Yeah, exactly. Rutgers. You get rid of those, and you add FSU, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Miami.
Notre Dame's
and Miami.
Them. They're the sleeping giant in this whole equation.
And they fit in the Big Ten. They don't fit anywhere else. If they got those four, they're better than the SEC.
And if that happens,
especially without Nick Saban, the dominant team in the SEC is not automatically penciled into the playoffs anymore. Nick Saban is gone. I'm not saying Kellen DeBoer, who will speak in media days today or tomorrow at the SEC, is not a great coach. I'm just saying nobody is Nick Saban. Nobody is going to have that run again at Alabama or anywhere else. Sorry, I don't see it happening. So if you added those four teams to the Big Ten, they're a better, more national conference, and certainly more interesting from a television package standpoint, because you can fill that late TV window and with some really good games. So if I'm if I'm Fox or TNT or whatever, if I look at the SEC, it's the best, but it's very regional. Very regional. And you look at the Big Ten, especially if you added those four teams, they're better than the SEC. Suddenly, you're not the best conference anymore.
Yeah, you got a footprint in the entire country from
Yeah.
that standpoint, which from a media rights standpoint is huge.
And if FSU could go from being 40 million under SEC schools in revenue to 40 million over them or 20 million over, let's see how ornery the SEC starts to get. Mm-hmm. Yes, they would.
Yeah,
yes, they would.
General point. You think you've seen everything that you have seen in the last 5 years in college football? We ain't even on the. We have too many other too many equations right now to be answered.
And this is something else I know to be true. At turning, I won't even tell you what on Thursday. Follow the money. Follow the money. And it always works. It always leads you to the answer. And not as a tangent, I was always my take on the Rays Stadium, and I was right. I just didn't know that St. Pete was going to give the biggest subsidy in the history of stadiums to a billionaire. I didn't see that coming. I didn't think they could get away with that, and they still haven't yet. But so barring a despicable granting of public money, I can follow the money on this and see the Big Ten wants to be a national TV conference, and so does the Big 12. And their advantage over the SEC is going to be the SEC's regionalism. Now, the SEC will say, listen, Alabama has fans all over the nation. They still get the biggest audience. That is absolutely true. But if you're talking about all games and every game bringing in revenue across the nation, if I'm a national advertiser, I want to be in the Big Ten, not the Southeast-dominated Southeastern Conference, which, by the way, all of their viewers are very brand loyal already to, Yellowwood and Bojangles and whatever other southern spots.
We're already there at this moment, but it's just going to turn into a classic battle of Fox Sports versus ESPN.
Yeah.
And the Big 12, which has their rights deal with Fox Sports, I believe, and I think they have both actually.
Yeah.
They're going to
TNT coming in and all the streaming networks. Amazon's
Yeah.
going to get in here. Netflix is going to get in
Right.
here. They're interested. Where are they going? Who are they going to support? It's fascinating. And I'll tell you this. And there was just more rulings this past week of the National Labor Relations Board and the court saying that these players are employees and they are entitled to workman's comp. They are entitled to all the things, overtime pay, everything else. Unionizing changes the entire dynamic, and it just screams even more for a national governing body of college athletics and not the NCAA. No, thank you. Needs to be reworked, blown up, and redone. And let's put Peyton Manning in charge of everything. So we're all good with that. Again, we just fixed it. And start over, put everybody back where they belong geographically in terms of conferences, redo all the traditional nostalgia of college football because that's what it's built on, and put the regional rivalries back together, have a salary cap in terms of NIL money and players being paid, put some types of guardrails on player movement, not total, but give them a couple. They have a couple of, you get one free, and then the next one you got to sit out half a season, something like that. It's good for me. We have to limit player volatility. I think that's important in college football. Got to have some loyalty back, or all the coaches will be leaving. And just bring back some sanity. And that I would love all of that. And they would just be swimming in cash. If they could collectively bargain. Yeah. So the thing is, college football is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. We're going to keep playing it. We need to get a hold of the economics of it. There's no question about that. Because in the end, we want a level playing field as much as – and by the way, it's never been a level playing field ever, okay? Look at the teams that have won national championships over the last 25 years. It's the same teams. It's the same 10 teams. I think total, we've had 10 different national champions. I could be wrong on that, but for the most part, over the last 20, 25 years. So they've always had there's always been an elite level, but we could do it better. We could do it better for the players, for the coaches, for everybody. And I wish that were to happen. Maybe it will. We'll see. We shall see. But what's coming in the next 2 years, if you're an FSU fan and a USF fan, and even if you're a Gator fan, even if you're an Alabama fan, there's going to be a lot of change. But what we will have is on August 24th, FSU playing Georgia Tech in Dublin, and we will be there. Working on 2 shows, the Thursday and Friday before, from a Dublin pub.
Ooh.
How epic would that be?
That's going to be rowdy. We're going to have to coordinate our times for the show, obviously, but that's going to be fun.
No,
Taking the show on the road.
10 to 12 is 4 to 6 over there.
4 to 6. Oh, there you go. You solved it for me right there.
Happy in a Dublin pub. You guys ready for that? Ready for that? You're going to be sitting there. I'll be bringing on all these. I'm going to bring on Irish people, and they'll be seeing things you can't even understand. It's supposed to be English, but it's Seminoles. Everything's a question with the Irish. Everything's a question. Oh, so you think you're going to beat Georgia Tech, huh? Oh, do you? Okay. I bet you 5 Guinness you won't. And we'll drink them right here. I'm like, let's go. Let's go. Oh, I can't wait.
Maybe you can invite your good friend Kirk Herbstreit to. I know he'll be in Dublin.
If only. You think he'd show up? He might. Well, I'd love to get his Corso. They're not going to fly him over, are they?
We'll see. He might be doing the whole virtual thing from his backyard in Orlando again. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm probably thinking that probably would be best anyway. Is McAfee coming on, by the way? Has that been decided yet?
I have no idea.
Are we going to let Pat McAfee loose in Dublin?
I have no idea, but it would be a massive, colossal mistake, in my opinion, if he's not on College Game Day.
What's going on with that?
Like, he is so good for that show and the energy that he brings, and the fact that Lee Corso just, unfortunately, is just – I'm going to let Lee do whatever he wants to do. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, he's got to go now. If Lee wants to continue to keep doing what he's got to do, by all means, do it. I think he's earned that right. But in terms of the general energy and flow of the show, Pat McAfee is best for business, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Lee's family probably needs to take a good look at it. And if he's comfortable with what's going on, I mean, it gets a little rough at times, and he has nothing left to prove, left to prove whatsoever. But
what's going to happen is he won't be on the show, and then we're all going to go, oh, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people said that when the pompous Chris Fowler left, and I think we're better off with Reese Davis, to be quite honest.
Damn, I love Chris Fowler. I wish Chris Fowler were still the host. I love Reese, but I was a big Chris Fowler fan.
I think he got a little pompous towards the end. He's really good in that Wimbledon slot. He's really good.
Next to John McEnroe?
He's really good. I think that's perfect. Are we ever going to get over the Fowler Kirk Herbstreit video
of the Alabama, the Milroe throw?
Yeah. Are we ever going to get over that?
I don't even know if those two things were really connected. It just made for a nice.
We know what that was all about. Anyway, so let's take a break. We got lots to get to. I want to thank all our great sponsors. Hydrate Heroes. Saw Michael Gardner, their CEO, over the weekend. We went out to the Shaquille and Shaquem Rebirth of the Hood football camp. It was awesome. I want to talk a little bit about that in the 11 o'clock hour. Shaquem joins us again. Hydrate Heroes was the sponsor of that broadcast as well. So we thank Michael Gardner and the great folks at Hydrate Heroes, and we needed to be hydrated that day for sure. 8 times the benefits, all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. Get your Hydrate Heroes at tryhydrateheroes.com. If you're listening to the show, support it. Go to tryhydrateheroes.com. Get your free 3-pack, please, and then order up the 30-pack, $29.99. It's a steal at that, but all that you get, 5 calories, great taste. I'm going to go make up another one right now. It's Hydrate Heroes. And also, Third Generation Plumbing and AC, our newest sponsor. We told you all about them. If you were looking for an honest group of technicians, and that's all you want, 813-961-8024, or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. They also do AC, so they'll be there when they say they are in emergency situations. The prices are great. The techs are honest. It's a Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And also Rogers Park, Top Tracer. We got a little bit of something special for you. I'm going to demonstrate that for you at the end of the show one more time. So that's another one of our new sponsors, Rogers Park, Top Tracer. golf range. It's absolutely awesome. Go to the Rogers Park Golf website to reserve your bay right now. Opening today. Tonight is their first night and day open. So go ahead, head over to the Rogers Park website. Back in 3. Stay with us.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, are you going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show? It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best in the business.
Take your business or nonprofit to the next level with the power of video. Red House Streaming offers complete studio production services at our state-of-the-art facilities. Put our experience and expertise to work for you. From initial concept to final delivery, we'll handle it all and bring your vision to life. As your all-in-one production partner, we offer comprehensive marketing packages that not only showcase your brand, but amplify your reach. Contact Red House Streaming today.
Let's go! Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Lugo, my primary care physician, Nick's as well. He'll help you with weight loss. He'll help you with testosterone. If you want to keep those muscles in good shape, keep that definition, keep some muscle mass, get your most out of your workouts and everything else that testosterone does. And trust me, you're probably low on the testosterone scale. If you eat an American diet and you're a red-blooded American male, you're probably low. So go see Chris Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. He'll spend an hour and a half with you going over all your blood work and get you right on so many levels, get you a personal plan. Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. All right, you want to get into a little bit of Buccaneers here, my friend?
Let's do it.
Our training camp preview as we've looked at the entire defense. And, oh, by the way, quick aside. Monte Kiffin, Friday, we were going to do the defensive tackles, but we did our tribute to Monte Kiffin, who passed last week. Got a note from his daughter, Heidi, that the funeral arrangements have been made, and it is open to the public on Saturday at 1 o'clock at Indian Rocks Baptist Church. Let me make sure I get that exactly right. 1 o'clock at Indian Rocks Baptist Church in Largo. So that's on Saturday. Service the public is welcome. So please come out and celebrate the life of the great Monte Kiffin. So we go to defensive tackles, and you look at this. The main two guys that we're looking at, obviously, are Vita Vea, a slim down Vita Vea, by the way. Got to look at him at training camp, and he says he's the same weight. I'm going to call BS on that. Not that I would argue with him about his weight, but I'd say he's probably in the 325 to 330 range. It's tough because he likes to wear a lot of stuff, so we can't get a really good look at him. But I'd say he's definitely, I'd say, dropped 25 to 30 pounds. And that's going to be, and we'll talk to, I'm going to get Chris Lugo to talk about this in terms of biometrics. When you're that big, that's a huge difference in terms of the foot-pound pressure that it puts on your joints. And I think it's and him just working with Ndamukong Suh, who had incredible longevity. He never missed a game for injury, playing defensive tackle for 15 years in the league. I mean,
he missed some games for, stomping on people, but I think outside of that, he was good for the rest of his career.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, Brady's longevity and Ronde's longevity and Derek Brooks, that's really, for the positions they played, insane. But Ndamukong Suh and, Vita Vea, that's been his biggest issue, has been availability.
Yeah.
And when you're that big, and he's played a lot of games where he has been hurt and played in those games, and they haven't been able to get more than probably 60% snaps out of him. And I get that you want to have a rotation, but you need him in there. And when he comes out,
drop off.
Dude, when he comes out, it is like turning on a light switch to the other team. Time to run the football, because with him out of there and Devin White in there, it's an absolute. It's 6 yards to carry, and it's easy. So a slim down Vita Vea is going to play a massive dividend if he can play 16 games, 17 games, and play 65, 70% of the snaps. That's going to be an insane upgrade for this team, first and foremost. And, of course, it makes him a better player. I think it makes him a better player. It's still at 330. You're not moving him. And his quickness and explosion will be better. And I think that's an upgrade. A healthy Vita Vea, first and foremost.
Yeah. The thing I do caution is Vita Vea is 29 years old, and I think he's going to be 30 at some point when the season is underway. So it's very possible that we've already seen maybe the best of Vita Vea has already passed us by. But I think in terms of how do you sustain this now as he gets into his 30s, and he's making a lot of money. I think he's at $17 million per.
Yeah.
And
he should.
And I think in an ideal world, you want to see him flash a little bit more. We know the things he does that don't necessarily flash on the box score and all that stuff, but I think maybe you want to see more of that. Clearly, you already mentioned we want to see him play more than 50% of the snaps because when he's just not there, it's such a big hole in that defense. And for a few years there, he was arguably the most important part to the defense when they were in that era where nobody could run against the Bucs or straight up stop trying to run against the Bucs.
Yep.
What I think goes in his favor in this sort of segues into the other defensive tackle who we're very excited about is Kalijah Kancey. And, I know that he played with Ndamukong Suh and they had some good years. And I know Will Golston's been in that role a few times, Rakeem Nacho Sant, all those things. But Kalijah Kancey is the best pass rushing defensive tackle that Vita Vea has ever played next to. There's no doubt about it. And I think now that Kalijah goes into his second season playing next to Vita Vea and in the NFL in general, you'd like to think, in theory, that they're going to complement each other really well and that the Bucs should probably have one of, if not the best defensive tackle tandem in the NFL from a rush defending standpoint with Vita Vea and then a pass rushing standpoint with Kalijah Kancey.
Yeah. I agree. And as we kind of switch over to Kalijah Kancey, if you watch Baldy's breakdowns, which on Twitter, it's a must watch, he did a whole segment on Kalijah Kancey and his chop and swim move that he has and his get off. And he could not be more complimentary of what he saw late in the season. And Kancey was at times dominating the line of scrimmage with his quickness and his disruption in the backfield. If you turned on the tape, I remember going, and his numbers aren't crazy, but they're good. But his effect on the game was extremely evident late in the season when he finally got really comfortable. It was tremendous. And you could in some of his numbers right here against Philadelphia, he had 4 tackles, had a half a sack and probably assisted on another sack and two tackles for loss.
Yeah, I was going to point the 2 games out, Philadelphia in the wild card round and then the divisional round against Detroit. Those were his 2 best pass rushing performances of the season, according to PFF's metrics. And if you actually look at it, he had 6 pressures total and 5 hurries against Philadelphia, 5 pressures and 4 hurries against Detroit.
How about that?
So he was peaking as a rookie at a very difficult position, by the way, to come into the NFL and perform.
In the playoffs.
In the playoffs, he was doing that. He was arguably the Bucs' best player on the field on that defense. And you mentioned, the numbers, 4 sacks, and people might look at that and go, oh, it's just 4 sacks. Well, again, I just mentioned it's a very hard position to make a transition to the NFL to, especially with his body type. And by the way, let's go back 30 years ago to 1995. Warren Sapp had 3 sacks during his rookie year. And then he exploded for 9 the next year and 10.5 after that. And he arrived, best defensive tackle in football. I'm not saying Kalijah Kancey is going to be Warren Sapp. I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying that his rookie year, you could argue, was better than Warren's in 95.
Yeah.
And I think now you're going to see that true breakout this season where I could see Kalijah Kancey having somewhere in between 7 and 10 sacks.
Yeah. And he said that he was about the same weight, although he looked much bigger to me in training camp. I mean, I thought he was noticeably bigger. Maybe it's just because, when he got here, it was kind of baby fat. He wasn't, he looked kind of, I want to say soft, but, he just wasn't ripped. And that changed. When we interviewed him in training camp, I was like, whoa, that's a different body type. I even asked him about it. He said he gained like 6 or 7 pounds, but then had lost a little bit in the heat of training camp. I think he's going to be, when he gets to week 1, I think he'll probably be plus 10 of muscle and still have that explosion. So I think there's room for him to grow from a weight standpoint. I don't think he's ever going to play it, at 320, nor should he. But I think he can get to 305 and be a rock and be. I hate saying it, but it's Aaron Donald. He looks like him in terms of
can't help but make the comparison sometimes. Just
I
can't help.
Played at the same school. We get all that. Nobody wants to, just because he played at the same school. No, he's an undersized defensive tackle, which is exactly what Aaron Donald was. He's ridiculously strong. He plays crazy leverage because he plays so low, and his get off is so quick. He's got all those intangibles and tangibles too. So I don't want to get crazy about it, but you said it by the PFF metrics, and turn on the tape. Go back and look at it on YouTube and watch that dude dominate those 2 games. It's special stuff. And a slim down.
And by the way, and we're talking about the Eagles' offensive line. We're talking about Jason Kelsey and I forget the guard's name that's next to him was also really good. We're talking about Detroit with Frank Ragnow. And their offensive
lines in the game.
Yeah, these are really good offensive lines that he was having his best games against. So it's one of those things we talked about last week about the edge rusher room, and there may not be that one there yet, but man, I think you're going to get a lot of pressure through the middle this year in this Bucs defense, and he's going to lead the way. Now, if something happens to either of those guys, it's a little thin. It's a little thin. It's a 4-man rotation. I mean, Greg Gaines is back. I think he provided solid depth last year for the Bucs.
I think he did. Yeah.
If anything.
Yeah.
And then Mike Green, who flashed obviously in the preseason, I think he's going to get some play as well because we know, Vita's never going to be that guy that plays like 80% of the game. That's not going to happen. So there's going to be some rotation, but you got to love where you are with the top 2 guys for sure.
Yeah. And you got to have rotation. And don't forget that guy that, kind of flashed. And I get it. He's undersized, but he's got a good name, Judge Culpepper. He's 4th on the quote depth chart right now. But they rave reviews in training camp. He's just a great, solid player. And, I'm not sitting here saying he's going to be starting, but I think it's a nice little depth piece and he can make some plays. So, and we love the nostalgia of the name. So that's kind of cool. Now we also have to include the other position there, or the great Logan Hall. I mean, is there something going to happen here? Is the light going to go on with Logan Hall? We feel like he's getting better. He's doing some things. He's adding some weight. William Golston is there, and he is like the next William Golston. And it's a guy you need. A guy that can play the run. Is not going to knock your socks off in terms of a pass rush, but he's going to be a run stopper, a guy that can eat up some blocks. Is Logan Hall going to be that guy? Is he going to become a better football player all around? We'll see. I think it's a weak point of the line. There's no question about it. But, hopefully there's a chance that, he's gotten bigger. He's put some size on. He's how old is he? 25 now? 20. He's still 24 years old.
24 years old, yeah.
Yeah. Was the top of the third round pick, their first pick in the 2022 draft.
Yeah. I think as the year went on.
280. I think he's closer to 300 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked a little bit into his sort of his game logs here on PFF to see if there was anything I could read from. It did seem like later in the year, he stabilized a little bit. Like some of his grades earlier in the year, like we're talking like in the 20s and 30s and 40s, where it's like you're like unplayable.
Getting knocked off the ball, like getting knocked into linebackers, you're the liability out there.
Right. But we saw later on in the season, he got up into, the 50s. He had some games in the 60s. He actually had one dominant game against Carolina where he was in the 80s from their grades. Again, they're not the end all be all, but they chart every play, obviously.
It showed progress.
He was a little bit more noticeable later in the season. I don't think Logan Hall is necessarily a starting caliber player at this point. I think obviously we hope he is, but you would have wanted more from that 33rd overall selection at this point. I think there's no doubt about that. But if he can settle into, I think we always keep comparing him to Will Golston because they kind of had a similar body type. And obviously Will came back this year. In all respect to Will, a great servant for the Buccaneers, I guess is the way I'll put it, for a decade. Ideally, I want to see Logan Hall playing ahead of him this year. But he's going to have to earn that, though.
And I think there's probably some, I hate to use this word, but I think he saw an existential threat to his career at the end of the year when he's seeing everybody else is better than me and they're passing me by. And if I want to stay in this league, I better start playing. And I think that probably hit him. And that's a big deal to a lot of players that don't. And I would put Logan Hall in this category. Guys that never wow you in terms of their passion for the game. Like they're big, they're athletic. They've played football all their lives. They don't love it. They don't love it like they need to love it to be great. And I think maybe that light came on for him and said, you know what? I'm going to be out of this freaking league if I don't start playing. And I think the pressure was put on him, and I think he started playing a hell of a lot better. And that's good. Wake the F up. Let's go. I don't mean this in a personal way, but there are just some guys out there that just don't have the passion and the love for the game that you need to have to play great football at this level. And it's okay. Just, don't pick him at the top of the second round.
I was going to say the word I was going to use is he doesn't have a lot of bite to him.
No, he doesn't.
From just a playing standpoint. Like he doesn't play mean.
Right. That's and if you're going to be a defensive lineman in this league,
it's almost a prerequisite.
Your ass better be on fire or you're going to get destroyed like he was early in the season. But listen, he's got the ability. Clearly, he's got the size and the strength and the speed and all that stuff. He's just got to decide whether he wants to be in this league or not. And they'll make that decision for him.
Yeah, because it literally is.
If he gets cut, I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Yeah, it's crazy to say almost, but because this is his third year in the league. But if he puts up a similar year to what he had his rookie year or last year, like at the beginning part of last year, like Logan Hall won't be long for the league.
No,
it'll just be that simple. So, yeah, he's one of those players that has a lot to prove this year. And again, because Will Golston is older and is essentially doing this whole 1-year contract thing every single year, like he has a great opportunity in front of him to get that role. There's nobody else that he has to worry about. It's Logan Hall and Will Golston.
Yeah. And Golston is still on this team because Logan Hall has not been able to replace him. You just
can't trust Logan Hall right now to play.
Golston is still a better football player than Logan Hall.
Right.
And that's the truth. At 34 years old, whatever he is. Yeah, he is. And that's why Will Golston is still here, because they don't trust him. They don't trust Logan Hall. They don't trust him. And they got to have somebody there that can put in.
Jason Light is quick to move on from mistakes. We know this.
This is his last chance for Logan Hall, and he better show up in training camp where he's going to be bye-bye. All right, we're going to take another break. And by the way, tomorrow, Scott Reynolds will be joining us. And we will chat about the offense. We'll flip it over to the offense, and we'll start with the interior line of the offense tomorrow, which I am very excited about in terms of upgrade. and we will definitely chat about those guys. All right, we'll take a break. I want to remind you, Rogers Park Top Tracer Golf Range is opening up today. It's first day open to the public. We're going to give you a little demo on that later on in the show. We welcome in our good friends at Third Generation Plumbing and AC as new sponsors. We told you all about them. If you're looking for a trustworthy group of AC and plumbing techs, and when something breaks, right, you got to call somebody, right? You got to get them over there. They'll come right away. They are great and trusted. 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. My good buddy John Rodriguez has been in business there since 1995, and they are honest, wonderful, long-time Tampanians, and we love them. So welcome to the JP Peterson Show. Back in 3. Stay with us.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent-rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best of the business.
Take your business or nonprofit to the next level with the power of video. Red House Streaming offers complete field production services. Our experience and expertise has you covered every step of the way wherever you want to go. From initial concept to final delivery, we'll handle it all and bring your vision to life. As your all-in-one production partner, we offer comprehensive marketing packages that not only showcase your brand, but amplify your reach. Contact Red House Streaming today.
Let's go! Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we roll on a Monday with Nick Geddes from On3 Sports. Brought to you by the great folks at the Golden Diamond Source. The 40th anniversary party was the other night, and we've had a great celebration this entire year. And that's what it's all about, folks. Local businesses that we love to champion here on the JP Peterson Show that support us. So if they support your favorite show, support them. Go on in there and tell you, hey, we heard you on the JP Peterson Show. So we thank them for all their support over the years, Julie and Steve Weintraub. Couldn't do it without them. And congratulations on 40 years of being the best in the business, in the jewelry business. So reward them by, you got to do shopping anyway, like Nick did and I have done. Go get your ring there They are the best of the best at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, and at goldanddiamondsource.com. All right, you want to get into some of the soccer from over the weekend?
The on the field or the off the field?
Well, the off the field was just an embarrassment again. Another American embarrassment as we host the Copa America final, and the mostly Colombian fans, right? We feel like that we're overrunning.
Oh, there was both, but it definitely seemed like there was more yellow. I do want to make sure we all understand that this is not the U.S. necessarily. The U.S. is hosting this tournament, but they are not running this tournament. What's happening here is this is making the U.S. look bad from an organizational event planning standpoint. They're not running this at all. In fact, CONCACAF has nothing to do with this. The organization which runs the Copa America is CONMEBOL, which is the South American governing body for soccer. And CONMEBOL is known to be very lax and very chaotic and not organized whatsoever. And so what's happened here is CONMEBOL has just brought their usual dysfunction over to the United States. But because it's on the U.S. soil and it's in a very prominent stadium in the U.S. is sort of taking a lot of the heat for this. And everybody has questions now of their ability to host the World Cup in 2026. Even though the United States has hosted World Cups before with no problems, clearly,
well, that was back in the 90s when we didn't have our head up our ass.
Right.
So.
And clearly, listen, this is Hard Rock Stadium, and how many events does Hard Rock Stadium host? They don't usually have problems hosting big events. It
Super
just happened
Bowls,
to be one
international
soccer game.
events. Yes.
It just happened to be one soccer game where this broke out. We know that soccer fans are the rowdiest bunch out there. You think American sports is rowdy from a fan base standpoint? You don't touch South American soccer. Let me tell you that right now. Case in point, yesterday, when thousands of people without tickets are coming into the stadium, just an overflowing. I mean, security had no
7,000 people.
Yeah, security had no shot holding these people back. We have kids getting dislodged from their own parents, which is just scary to think about. People that aren't ticketed
why would
coming
you bring
in.
a small child to an event like that, especially without tickets? I saw one police officer reach over the barricade and grab this looked like about a 5-6-year-old girl because he realized that barricade was about to come down and probably saved her life.
Right.
So
It's very dangerous. And honestly,
the police in any way, but clearly they did not have enough resources. Where have we heard this before?
No,
did not have enough crowd control. The planning that went into it was inadequate.
And they probably should have expected this.
Of course, they should have expected it.
We're not used to this stuff happening over here, but this happens a lot. I'm telling you, when it comes to this when it comes to these big, soccer matches. And
Colombia and Argentina, are there two bigger throw Brazil in there. But other than Brazil, are there two bigger fan bases, more passionate fan bases in South America? No.
And go back to last week when Colombia and Uruguay played each other, and we got the Colombian fan. You almost have to point the finger at the Colombian fans. I mean, you have to,
absolutely,
because they're the same people that were fighting. The Uruguayan players in the stands, and the Uruguayan players, specifically Darwin Nunez, takes a lot of heat for it. But guess what? His family's in that crowd. And they're getting ambushed by these Colombian fans. What do you want them to do? Just sit there and watch it? No. If the police aren't going to do anything, security's not going to do anything, what are you going to do? So it's just been too lackadaisical this entire tournament from a security standpoint, from an operations standpoint. And honestly, they kept delaying the match. It didn't kick off until about an hour and a half, I think, after its scheduled start time. Yeah. If you wanted to make an argument not to play that game last night, you had every right, because what ended up happening, all these people that were in the stadium, eventually security threw their hands up and said, hey, there's nothing we can do about it.
Right.
So
once
now
it's not like they have bar bands.
But here's the thing.
Check everybody's ticket. How are you going to do that?
Now you have thousands of fans in the stadium, a big stadium for a hostile match between two countries in South America in a Copa America final, who haven't been ticketed, haven't been checked for weapons or anything, or, glass bottles of alcohol, which I saw several of in the stands, by the way, in pictures taken, are now in your stadium. It's a charged environment. It's hot as hell, by the way. People are getting broke out there. It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So the fact that they even played the game, I think they took a monumental risk doing that for everybody's safety. I sure as hell wouldn't have wanted to have been inside that.
Well, let me just throw this at you. How would you like to cancel the game? You think there was a riot before the game? Try telling these people there's not going to be a game.
Yeah, or Shakira. You're not going to see Shakira tonight, folks.
Those hips did not lie, by the way.
God, Lee, by the way,
how old is she?
She's 47. I'm sitting there with Case watching it. And I go, how the hell is she 47? And then my next question was, what the F was Gerard Piqué thinking? The former Barcelona player who was married to her and allegedly had an extra on the side. Like, what are you doing?
That ain't enough. That ain't enough for you.
No, apparently not. Too much woman for him, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah, the
much.
whole thing was a disaster until the game started. Argentina wins. Lautaro Martinez, one of the best strikers. He won the Golden Boot, got the goal. I know everybody was there to see Messi. Unfortunately, he got hurt. He tried everything he could.
Yeah.
And if you think about how much this means to these players, there he is on the bench when he had to take himself off, and he's in tears. There's so much emotion there. And you saw his ankle when he took his sock off. Holy I think that thing might be broken. I don't know.
It looked like it was broken. That much swelling. There's a severe. You better hope it's broken and not a high ankle sprain or whatever that was. He ain't playing for Miami for a while. Is their season over? No, they're like in the middle of their season, right?
Yeah.
He ain't playing for Miami for a while, so that's a shame.
But he adds to his legacy. That's 45 trophies that Lionel Messi has won, which is the most ever.
And they win the 3 in a row: the Copa, the World Cup, and the Copa again.
Yep.
In compressed years because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
That's I don't know if that's easier or not, but either way,
more difficult, in my opinion.
Really, really impressive. Really, really impressive. And it was a 1-0 game. I watched quite a bit of it. It was there was a lot of action in the game, a lot of drama. Clearly with what was going on, but it's 1-0. And the one, if you're the keeper, I know that was a solid strike.
You got to do better.
Don't move your head. Take it off the face. You save it. I know it's reaction to move your head away when the ball's coming right at your face.
The goaltender for the goalkeeper for Colombia is far from world class. Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah. That was that's one he will. Will he survive that? I mean, quite frankly, because we've seen that if you screw up,
international failure for these countries is
you can pay with your life. I don't mean to be, flippant about it, because in Colombia that's happened. So, hope that keeper and his family will be keeping more. But that was, and then Spain. Boy, did Spain have a day! And by the way, I watched that Alcaraz Djokovic match. Onslaught. I don't think I've ever seen a player, with all deference to Roger Federer and Nadal, and I know, I'd like to see these guys play in their prime, and I think Alcaraz can be better. The level of tennis that he played at yesterday was superhuman. Like, I've never seen guys run down every freaking shot. I think Djokovic at some point was like, what do I have to do? And I'm not saying he played at the height of his game, but I think Alcaraz was just phenomenal. The speed, the precision, the power that he plays with, and the passion.
Yeah.
Wow. All I can say is just wow.
Yeah. 21 years old. I mean, what was I doing at 21 years old?
You weren't the best.
What were you doing at 21 years old? I mean, it's insane. It really is.
That's his 4th major, right?
Yeah, this is his 4th major. He's won the French, 2 Wimbledons in a row. The only one left for him is the Australian Open. So we'll see if he'll get that eventually. We know that. He hasn't performed as well in the Australian, but he'll get that eventually. He's too good. But yeah, the tennis. I love the tennis game right now because obviously Nadal and Federer have phased out. Djokovic is like the last of that old guard that's hanging on.
Yeah,
still playing at a damn good level at 37 years of age.
To go past Nadal,
right?
So his journey on that is going to be fun to watch.
There's just still so much good talent though between Alcaraz and Zverev and Medvedev, and you can go on and on throughout the list of guys who are here to compete for Grand Slam titles. I mean, I think the game has really transitioned well on the other side of those 3 guys.
And as I mentioned in the beginning, we haven't won a Wimbledon men's championship, U.S. that is since 2000 in Pete Sampras. And let's tip the cap to Taylor Fritz, Tiafoe, and the American men, who had more quarterfinalists, I think, this year than they have in probably 20 years. So maybe, just maybe, there's some hope on the horizon that one of these guys will break through and win another major.
Hopefully,
we'll see.
Somebody in the tennis game wake up.
Nobody's beaten Alcaraz the way he played yesterday. I don't care if he's playing on the clay.
he just schooled arguably the greatest of all time.
And Djokovic even afterwards was like, I got nothing for that.
It's amazing. Djokovic has even beaten him. I mean, I think they're now 3-3 in their series. Yeah. And my goodness, for every major, as long as Djokovic keeps playing, we can run this back. I love that whole like thing where it's like the young guard and the old guard going against each other. It's just like a classic story. But yeah, you mentioned it, a clean sweep for Spain because Alcaraz was Wimbledon. For those of you who were tuned into the CW this weekend, and God help you if you were, you saw Sergio Garcia win his first ever live event at Andalusia in the playoff. He won something. Sergio. Yeah. Congrats to Sergio. And then in the other big soccer final earlier in the day, Spain wins the Euros. And by the way, so deserved because as I've been telling you here, as I guess the show's official soccer correspondent, Spain were the best team the entire way. They were the first team now to win all 7 games they played in. They dominated. They played beautiful soccer while doing it. And by the way, learn the name, folks. Yamin Lamol. I asked you, what were you doing at 21 years old? What were you doing at 16 years old? You weren't lifting the Euro trophy, being the best player on the Spanish side. I tell you, you weren't doing that. And that was what Yamin Lamol was doing. So
can he be better than Messi?
I'm not gonna go that far. I'm not gonna go that far. We don't need to put those expectations on. He is playing at Barcelona though, just like Messi did. And the same position that Messi played in, by the way. So maybe the heir apparent there. But of course, everybody had to laugh at England. The number one trend after the game was over is it's not coming home.
It's never coming home.
It's never coming home. The Toronto Maple Leafs of international soccer turned out again.
47 years now without a major trophy.
It's longer than that. It goes back to 1966 that they have not gotten a major international. The women got it done at the last Euros for England.
Yeah.
But the men, and by the way, they were the most talented team in the tournament by far, England. They played horrible the entire way, somehow made it to the final, and played horrible in the final. So deserve it for Spain. And I thought this was a pretty good showcase, the Euros and the Copa America this summer for soccer. Get us excited for the World Cup a little bit.
Yeah. And as we talk, have we talked since Berhalter was sacked?
Yeah, we did briefly. And right after we talked about that, and I brought up the name Jurgen Klopp, and it was they reached out to him, and he said thanks, but no thanks. Jurgen Klopp said he's serious about taking this sabbatical, so they've moved on. And there's all these rumors again about the MLS coaches, and
you don't want to see that.
No, Jesse Marsh was asked about the job, by the way, after Canada got eliminated, and he shot across the bow. He said, I don't have interest, and I honestly will never have interest as long as the leadership remains the same over there.
Oh.
Which we need people. It's like one of those things where like you hate that he said it, but you love that he said it. And
that's talking about the heads of U.S. soccer.
Yes, because they all have, up there, So
what is your position on that? They're all just MLS sycophants. They think they can get this done with MLS people.
I don't think they're willing. They've invested so much money into the sport, but to me, it's all a moot point if you have coaches who have no business managing the national team. Like Greg Berhalter wasn't even the best MLS coach out there. And you brought him to he was honestly, his job was to qualify the United States for the World Cup in 2022. That was it. There was no need to go past that. He was never meant to last 6 years in this position. And the United States are they better off now than they were 10 years ago?
No. No.
Not a good spot. And now you have to scramble again with 2 years to go into the World Cup. I'm telling you, you don't get to play with these guys enough, and you don't get a chance to install your tactics and stuff like that. 2 years time. I'm telling you, they're not going to be prepared for 2026.
That's so sad because it's fun watching them when they're, I remember back in 94 when we hosted, that was fun. It was fun going to the games. It was fun. The whole thing was fun. But I'm so down on everything. I mean, we just suck at everything. We're playing Australia tonight in basketball.
I was going to say, we're great at basketball.
Ousted us from the Olympic. I mean, how did we suck at basketball now? We can't even beat teams internationally at basketball?
Well, suck that's a strong word. But
we're not dominant.
But this is the first time in a minute we've truly put out our best. Now, you mean
look at, and why haven't we done that? Because we're fat and happy, and nobody gives a rat's ass anymore.
Yeah, I don't think there was a lot of care
no American
there.
pride.
It only took for them to start losing some games where all of a sudden LeBron and Curry and Durant stepped up and said, "Hey, we're going to play now. We're going to play now." But I do think it's funny, the controversy, though, about that whole 12th spot after, shocker, Kawhi Leonard pulls out. Or the Clippers pulled him out, rather.
Right.
With knee soreness. Shocker, again. But
he's hurt and can't play?
Yeah. I thought it was funny, though. They announced Derek White as the last player, and Jaylen Brown is sort of just left out in the cold. And that's so his Celtics teammates, Jason Tatum and Derek White, are both playing on the Olympic national team, and Jaylen Brown's not. And Jaylen Brown won the Finals MVP.
Jaylen Brown.
I get it from the standpoint of like the same reason why Drew Holiday is on that team is why Derek White is on that team. And I'm not saying you can't have one or two of those players, but it's just odd that you can't find room for Jaylen Brown. And it's just the optics of it because he outshined Tatum in the playoffs and, seemed like he was the alpha dominant player on that championship winning team. Mm-hmm. Tatum's there. He's not there. And all of a sudden it's like, is this going to create a rift in that locker room?
Marty St. Louis.
I mean, if you're the Celtics, you're probably like, I don't like this. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. And I don't think why did you choose Derek White over Jaylen Brown or other players?
And by the way, it's like Kawhi Leonard. Okay, you have to replace
Kevin Durant's still injured, right? It's like,
no, he's playing. Him? But it's just funny because like they had to replace a two-way player in Kawhi Leonard. Well, like the next best available two-way player was Jaylen Brown.
Yes,
and you went with Derek White. That's why it doesn't make sense.
Meets McGee says they have enough scorers, they need defenders. That's why Derek White is there.
But Jaylen Brown can do that.
He can defend. All right, we got to take one more break. When we come back, a little demo for the new Rogers Park Top Tracer. We're going to do that. Jeremy Fowler's top 10 quarterbacks list is getting a lot of run. And my best moment of the weekend, I haven't even talked about. I haven't even talked about that yet. And there might be just a little. Okay. I'm going to compare what happened, the catastrophic execution of Secret Service this weekend, almost led to an execution. I'm going to compare that to a football game and how awful this was. So we'll do that too when we come back. Stay with us. JP here for HydrateHeroes.com, the great electrolyte hydration drink that has all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. NFL players are using this stuff. All types of athletes are using it because it's got 5 calories. None of the bad stuff, all the good stuff. All the electrolytes are in there for you. And also amla fruit, which is a terrific additive in there. The mushroom blend helps with inflammation in your body. Definitely has helped me with my knees. My knee pain has gone away almost exclusively since I started drinking Hydrate Heroes. Folks, it makes a difference. I love it. Professional athletes love it. You will love it. The new Tropical Punch flavor is out. Go to tryhydrateheroes.com and get a free 3-pack. That's tryhydrateheroes.com, a free 3-pack, and get the 30-pack while you're there for just $29.99. Tryhydrateheroes.com. You'll love it.
Hey, Tampa Bay sports fans. This is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
Summer is here, and it's the perfect time to shine with the exquisite June birthstones, Pearl, Alexandrite, and Moonstone at the Golden Diamond Source. Each gemstone carries its own unique significance and style, making them perfect for any summer occasion. Did you know the 30th anniversary milestone is pearl, the traditional stone for this special occasion? And right now you can enjoy 5 years of interest-free financing. That means you can own a stunning $5,000 ring and pay only $83 a month with zero interest for 5 years. That's a great deal. And shop online and get 15% off the June birthstones. And we love our partners, local businesses that have been here for 40 years. That's right, the Golden Diamond Source has been here for 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub have done so much in our community. We thank them, and we shop there. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Happy summer. As we head into summer and hurricane season, you must make sure that your home is fully insured. Over 40% of people in Florida are not fully insured because property rates have gone up lately. Your home is worth more, so it needs to be insured. Call the great folks at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799 to make sure you're fully insured. And also, you might just save some money. There are new companies coming into the state all the time. In fact, we just shopped our homeowners insurance, and I'm telling you, folks, we saved over $550 because Charity, the great customer service at Italiano Insurance, did all the work and found us a better company and a cheaper company. She'll do the same for you. 813-877-7799. Do something about these high rates. Shop them around. Could save you lots of money. It's Italiano Insurance. Been doing business here locally for over 60 years. 813-877-7799. Tell them JP sent you.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Pete Peterson Show, so much to get to this weekend. My favorite moment of the weekend, we're watching the Scottish Open, which is a PGA Tour event, a dual event with the DP World Tour. Robert McIntyre, who was from about 150 miles away from the Renaissance Club, beautiful golf course, by the way, in Scotland. And he was obviously the crowd favorite. He grew up, his father is the greenskeeper at this local course, dreaming of winning the Scottish Open. He's 4 shots back on the back nine and plays the last 4 holes or 5 holes in 4 under par, including an eagle at 16. And then on 18, hits from the kind of first cut of rough, hits a wedge to about 20 feet, and then freaking rolls the putt in on the final hole to win the Scottish Open. And I mean, talk about a Cinderella story. I mean, this kid, he becomes the first to win on both tours. All kinds of history-making moments here. But to win the Scottish Open with that putt, which is like the last turn, too, I was like, oh, he's going to come up short right in the throat of it. And then it fell in, and the celebration was on. The joy in his voice, the Scottish accent, it was just my favorite moment of the weekend.
I still can't figure out golf. He's missed 9 cuts this season,
right,
and yet he's won 2 tournaments in his last 6 starts, which also includes 3 missed cuts, both, by the way, before his wins.
Yeah.
I can't figure out golf.
He was motivated, and that was a clutch performance by a non-American. So I was thinking about this, and I went way down the rabbit hole this weekend on the Trump assassination, and I'm not going to go into a long diatribe. It's disgusting where America is at this point, and people actually thinking that Trump set this up. I like, how effing stupid can you be? Yeah, I'm going to kill a couple of my supporters in cold blood while I'm setting this thing up. I mean, just ridiculous. But the failures that I've heard from experts, and just common sense, by the way, how a 20-year-old can get on the roof of the absolute premium position from 130 yards and take a shot at the president is beyond belief. And the fact that the sniper literally had eyes on him for 42 seconds. And this is all on video. The counter sniper had eyes on him, saw a guy crawling on a roof from 130 yards for 42 seconds and asked to fire and was told not to fire, to hold your fire, and did not fire until he fired. Is just such a colossal mistake, and at least in my mind, hard to be just blamed on incompetence. There's just no way. And every expert that's looked at that says the same thing. And you just, imagine if he had not missed. what we would have witnessed and where this country would be right now. I don't even want to think about it. But I said to myself, how do you explain this to people who maybe are not tuned in? This would be like 4th down in the Super Bowl. Bucs are at the 1-yard line. Mike Evans splits out to the left, and nobody goes with him. Nobody even close to him. And Baker Mayfield just reaches up and throws the ball to him for the game-winning touchdown. Like that is how colossal, and it's beyond incompetence. And it's a sad day. It's a sad, sad day in America that this is what we've come to. Couldn't take him out and cancel him. Couldn't take him out in the courts. And now it becomes just violence. And whether you hate Trump or not, folks, you ought to be very, very scared of what's going on in this country right now. And I've said this many times. I understand the people that hate him. I get it. And I understand it. I get it. I'm not this sycophant Trump fan, but I understand what's going on in this world right now. And it's not, there's a lot of stuff I don't like, but I understand what's going on. So sad.
I'll just say something.
Much more I could say, but I'm just going to leave it at that.
Well, I'll just say my brief piece before we wrap up, because I don't like politics at all. There's a reason why I removed myself from it, and it just simply comes down to what the outcome of this is politics. I feel like when I was growing up, politics used to be really boring.
Yeah.
And I feel like politics were meant to be boring.
Should be.
And now it's turned into people's, on both sides, their character trait and idolizing a political. I just feel like that's so weird to idolize a political figure. It's just odd to me.
Yeah.
And
well, I think, listen, the whole idea of people idolizing Trump, I mean, there's probably some people that do that, but 90% of people are just pragmatic as to what
yeah,
we like low taxes and a good economy.
Yeah.
And we don't
right. All the people that I'm around generally all feel that way. So, but there's always, Looney Tunes everywhere. Yeah. And it's just gotten to a point where people decide who they want to be around based on political beliefs and all this stuff. And that's why I really just choose not to get involved with it. And you see what happened. This country's been really charged for the last decade.
Yeah.
And it's honestly a miracle that something like this hasn't happened to this point.
I agree.
It's like, I don't see what happened on, was it Saturday, and go, oh, wow, that was really shocking. I really don't.
No,
it's been charged.
Everybody saw it coming.
It's been charged for too long.
Doesn't make
it right. I'd like
to
think that this is a moment where we could all just chill the F out.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to happen.
No.
So.
Nope.
This is what it
is. There'll be more. I think there'll be more, unfortunately. All right, before we go, we have a new sponsor, and it is Rogers Park, Top Tracer Technology. We love them. And I was out there last week for the press conference and just put together this little demonstration. So check it out and go to Rogers Park website and reserve your bay right there. Here's what it looks like. You want to play Pebble Beach, guys? Well, here you go.
Here we are at the Rogers Park Top Tracer Golf Range. This place is freaking unbelievable. We got the bar behind me. Got these beautiful bays right here. And here we're going to play Pebble Beach today. This is number 9. I'm already playing the front side. I'm 6 over, but I am having fun. So we're going to play this. This is the line. Realistic. We already have a aiming point out here. In the real world, in the virtual world.
Yeah, so right out there in the range,
so
there's targets.
So cool.
And you
so
connect
we're going
the
to
target.
go, it's 458, par 4. Ooh, this is the bear. Number 9 at Pebble.
Up the hill,
have to,
into the
driver.
wind.
So we're going to go driver. Looks like we want to play just a little bit of a draw.
Oh, listen to that sound. Oh, it's a rare hit on the sweet spot.
Total, I thought I smoked it. So I smoked it 234. Oh, it was uphill, 234. That's not bad for an old man. All right, so now we got, holy crap, we got to the pin, 228 yards. Well, we're not laying up, so we're going with the 3-wood. This is very, very realistic, hitting off this. So, we'll give it a shot. Oh, that's low and left. That's not going to be good.
Low and left is never good.
Low and left of the pin. There it is.
Yeah.
So at least we're in the fairway. So we got that going for us. So now our next shot is probably going to be, all right, 52 yards to the pin. I got to go over some rubbish.
I can't explain how realistic this is. You'd be out there with your buddies and you can play 4 players can play like Pebble Beach.
Ooh, I like that.
That's a little fat.
Right on. Oh, it damn near hit the pole out there. Let's see what it looks like.
I was a little disappointed by this result.
On here, though. So then it's going to like assign you a score for the hole.
The green was running away, so
your accuracy. Yeah, that one got a little deep on me, but it's absolutely very realistic. And this is just a wonderful place. Everything is brand new. You come out here, you can rent it for $25 during most of the week, $35, a little bit more peak time, $45 at the absolute peak times. Unlimited golf balls, great food and beverage, great prices on the food and beverage. It's absolutely cool. So come check it out. It's the Top Tracer range here at Rogers Park. You will love it.
So there you go. Had some fun. We got to get you out there, Nick. You want to come play? Want to do a little event out there? Come play with us. Have a few.
Of course, I love golf, and I love doing other things other than the normal Top Golf that everybody likes to do.
Yeah, which you got to get a mortgage to do that.
Right.
And I love this about Rogers Park. Everything is very affordable. You can walk that 9-hole course, which is awesome, for $9. Go find anything you can do for $9 in America.
I can't get a meal at McDonald's for $9.
I know. You can't get a Happy Meal for that. It's ridiculous. All right. Thank you, guys. I got to get Rick's last comment in here. Wait, was that the guy from MLB Network? No way, JP hits like that.
That's how you bring it full circle right there.
It's right there. All right. Thank you guys for listening. God bless America. Let's hope we have a fair and decent election and we can find out what the hell's going on and get this country back to where it used to be. And we all can be happy on both sides and come together, for God's sakes. That's what we all want, the same things, We all want the same things. I just wish things were better. Thank you, Nick. Great job. Thank you guys for listening and watching. We'll be back tomorrow with more fun and frivolity. See you then.